Hello, I'm Evan Mitchell, music director of the Kingston Symphony Orchestra, and for the week of November the 30th, here's What's On. This week we're presenting to you a very special Masterworks concert, our third Masterworks concert of the 2015-2016 season. And the reason why it's so special is because it is our inaugural festival concert, and this is a format that we're hoping to extend and repeat year after year. And in our inaugural festival, we couldn't find a more worthy subject of focus than the great Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. This festival of absolute genius takes place one afternoon only at 2:30 p.m. on Sunday, December the 6th at the Isabel Bader Center for the Performing Arts. Now, the idea of a composer festival is certainly not uncommon, but the idea that I have for this festival is a little bit more in depth. I came up with the idea for this about a year and a half ago when I was writing an opinion piece on the nature of mature works of the great composers. And there really is something different, something magical about the last works that a composer writes in a particular genre. When they're at the peak of their powers, they're writing their most mature music, and they've had a lifetime of experience and inspiration and craftsmanship to be able to really refine these mature works into among the very best works that they have produced over the course of their compositional lives. And so I thought it would be a really neat experience to take that traditional composer festival concept and then tweak it a bit, focus it on the mature works of a particular composer, and see what the results were. And I can actually think of no greater example than using Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, who of course was one of history's greatest geniuses. And in this inaugural festival, we're going to be taking a laser-like focus to perhaps the greatest period of creativity in music history, a span of 6 weeks in the year 1788, where Mozart wrote his last 3 symphonies, which in my opinion are his greatest symphonies, and he wrote them back to back while he was also writing a fugue, 2 violin sonatas, a piano sonata, and a trio. These symphonies are absolutely incredible. They tower over every other work that came before them. And if we take a look at Mozart's own creative output, they were the last 3 symphonies that he wrote. He lived another 3 years, and during that time he absolutely could have written more symphonies. But I feel as though with the end of his Jupiter Symphony, the 41st Symphony, his final symphony, it was as though he said, with the classical model of the symphony, I've accomplished everything I need to do, and I'm closing the book on the classical symphony until the next trend and the next stylistic period in music comes. And unfortunately, he didn't live to really see that happen, but he did write these incredible pieces which were his symphonic legacy. And we are going to be performing these 3 immortal works back to back to back in order on this spectacular concert. It's going to be a true event. Now, it's worth pointing out that there are several musicians, the most outspoken of which is the great Viennese conductor Nicholas Harnoncourt, who stipulate that they think that Mozart actually intended these 3 symphonies to be one cohesive work, one after another, a trilogy of symphonies. And there's a lot of evidence to support elements of this idea. But the greatest thing about performing these 3 symphonies back to back to back is that it feels as though Symphony No. 39 is something that was paying homage to the music of the past, early classical music. And then Symphony No. 40, the great G minor, is a work that has its finger directly on the pulse of the music of the time. And then Symphony 41, his final symphony, the Jupiter Symphony, is looking so far ahead into the future, it's as though Mozart himself was aware of how ahead of his time he actually was. This concert is going to be a true revelation, and if you have not already purchased your tickets, I urge you right now to either call the Kingston Symphony office or go to our website at kingstonsymphony.on.ca and buy tickets online or over the phone with one of our customer service representatives, because right now I'm taking a look at the website, the listing of all the seats we have left, and as of right now, which is 6 p.m. on Sunday, November the 29th, 1 week before the concert, we have 4 seats left. So take action right away, and if you happen to call in and they happen to be sold out at this point, please put your name on the waiting list. Things happen over the course of the week. Sometimes people have conflicts, they return the tickets. All hope is not lost, and you definitely don't want to be missing this concert. So in the spirit of the great discovery and the great journey that this concert will entail, I'm going to play for you about 30 seconds of the opening movements of each of these great symphonies, Mozart's 39th, 40th, and 41st symphonies, to give you a taste, to whet your appetite for this glorious upcoming concert. Here we go. So for this week, that's What's On. A big thank you to our friends at Templeman Meninga for being the What's On podcast sponsor. If you'd like to learn more about this program or any of the other concerts the Kingston Symphony performs, then browse to kingstonsymphony.on.ca. Purchasing tickets couldn't be easier. You can just give us a call at 613-530-2050 and speak with one of our wonderful customer service representatives, or you can browse to kingstonsymphony.on.ca. For the Kingston Symphony Orchestra, I'm Evan Mitchell, and I'll see you at the concert.